Welcome to News Talk. My name is Brandon Jones, and I want to talk to you about a news story that came out recently from Marie Claire calling for more abortions in movies and film. So, before I get to the story, if you enjoyed the content, please feel free to click over to YouTube or enjoy one of our Facebook pages and like and share accordingly if you like this content. So, I'm going to cover the story first, and I'll try to give you some of my thoughts on the story itself. So this is from Marie Claire magazine. This is the article. It says, we need to see more parents having abortions in film and television. Premise of the article starts off about finding out that she was pregnant again. It's the very first abortion that I had, and I had a perspective that was very blind. Discusses that she was going off what she knew, what people told me, what I did and didn't see on television, and she was scared. So the premise being that this individual is getting a lot of information from what they see on TV. The article kind of goes that we're not doing a good enough job showing people about that. So we've scrolled down a little bit. This is a study that's being quoted here. The Advancing New Standards in Reproductive Health shows an overall decrease in abortion plot lines on television. So then, of course, there's been significantly less television shows last year because of the shutdowns. However, scroll a little further. It says because there's also a shockingly few depictions of parents, particularly parents of color, having abortions. It reinforces the false dichotomy between people who have abortions and people who have children. Adds Steph Herald, a researcher in the Abortion on Screen program. We know the reality is that they're the same person at different points in their life. A little further later, goes to the limited depictions of moms having abortions, such as those in Jane the Virgin or Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, shows mothers in their 40s concluding that abortion was right for both themselves and families, felt important to Christensen. Goes a little further. Contrary to the efforts of anti-choice movement, the majority of Americans support access to safe and legal abortions, including 1/3 of registered Republican voters. Still, anti-choice vitriol is rife, and the movement was emboldened by the Trump administration. Talks about death threats and those kinds of things. Let me see here. Let me go a little further. Talks about different quotes of different individuals, and then the different shows here. Let me go here a little further. Instead of making abortion the crux of the plot, who is currently working on a scripted television show that takes place in a clinic, it is hoping to normalize abortion as just another choice in a wide range of decisions people make throughout their lives. And for characters who have kids, she wants to frame abortion as what it is, a parenting decision. All right, I'm going to stop there. So first off, the writer started off by talking about we don't see this with parents, and I think they mean people who already have kids who are having an abortion to not have more kids, because obviously if you are pregnant and have one, you're a parent. So this last paragraph I think really says it best, where they're hoping to normalize abortion, right? So let's kill more babies, and we want to use television and film as a medium to normalize people doing this as a quote parenting decision. So the left and the right don't see eye to eye on this. And if you are on the left and you're calling people on the right anti-choice, then you need to know that people on the right are going to call those on the left pro-abortion, because that is exactly the two dichotomies that we're now faced with, because it's going to come down to whether or not you see what's inside the woman's body as a baby or not. Is it a clump of cells? Is it something that you don't consider viable, and therefore it's a right to just have it removed without any consequence, thought accordingly as, quote, a parenting decision, right? On the right, you believe conception is at creating a new life with different DNA, a separate organism, even from the mother. Therefore, you are against abortion. You would rather look at adoption and other parenting options for that mother and child, not having it terminated. And I do want to point out that I don't see any stats, nor do I see any articles on Marie Claire discussing how many themes of adoption or options of adoption are brought up regularly in these scenarios. Instead, they want to promote just this one and, quote, frame it as the reality it is, a parenting decision. I think the studies, I think we go down a little bit further, and it tries to make very broad scoped generalizations about studies about poverty and those kinds of things. I think that it is a lot of fear and mongering that if Roe v. Wade in particular is overturned, or that there will be increased restrictions, for instance, or there'll be removal of these protections, then we'll go backwards 30, 40, 50 years. And reality is, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, which I still don't believe it is, but let's assume it is, then each state would have the options of how they want to govern. There's already a lawsuit now that's developing in Mississippi where they want to have options even if Roe v. Wade. They're trying to cement their states' rights. So you'll have states like New York who have gone, I think, all the way through pregnancy, protecting the right to have an abortion. You see that in California, or see that in Massachusetts, Illinois, those kinds of states. And you're going to see other states in the South, for instance, like Mississippi, Alabama, some of those states where they will, prevent those. Texas has been a battleground state where a lot of legislations and abortion bills are back and forth. It's been a hot topic that we've talked about in our different websites and writings over the years. And I think that if we don't recognize that the media arms, whether it be the news and or Hollywood, are weaponizing an issue that's so politicized, you should be, at least be able to acknowledge that that's the case. It should be somewhat alarming that a magazine like Marie Claire is so openly admitting how radical they would like to take this issue. They would like to present it in such a strong, poignant way. And I think that it is disgusting. I think it's really ridiculous that they have no intent publishing a pro-life counter argument, a promotion of adoption agencies, alternatives. Statistically, if we have just ultrasound screenings and the mother sees what she's terminating and sees that it is not some random clump of cells, that the abortion stats fall to less than 5%. No, because that's not what you're aborting, right? It becomes an organism with movement and fingers and different functions very, very quickly. And any woman that's gone through pregnancy can tell you that. So just an extreme story. I thought that needed to be raised to awareness. I don't know if you like my approach, but I try to just read you the story or give you some of the highlights. Feel free to comment and let me know what you think. I'm trying to keep my personal opinions and those kinds of things closer to the end of the article. Again, this is on Marie Claire's website. This is an article titled, let me read the title to you again. It is, "We Need to See More Parents Having Abortions in Film and Television." And her name is Danielle Campoamor. I apologize, I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I can try to read her bio as well if I can get to it here. She is the contributing digital editor at womensday.com. She's an award-winning freelance writer covering mental health, reproductive justice, abortion access, maternal mental health, politics, and feminist issues. She's been published in different locations, including New York Times, Daily Beast, Teen Vogue, Playboy, InStyle, etc. So she's an independent contractor. This is not a staff writer. So it's funny because it's also being promoted in a different way on the same site as "Parents Get the Most Abortions." Again, such a bizarre turn of phrase. Why don't we see it on TV? And then she had written another article in April that's "The Struggle for Abortion Access During the Health Crisis That We Were Facing." I'm not going to say their words because of the way YouTube handles that. And then back a couple years ago, You're asking why I didn't report, why don't you ask me why I regretted it when I did? Okay. So there you have it. Major publication covering a topic here for you. Again, love your feedback, your thoughts, and appreciate your time.